Okay, so part of this is an update video for Jac Jac's model build. That's why I had to put the timestamp in there, but I might cut that out and put this in as another one. So for part of my build, I decided I needed a foundation. This is 3/16 inch thick poster board. But one of the things that I did was I took spackling and went all the way around so that it would have a little bit of concrete. Now, what's actually going to happen is most of this concrete is going to be filled up. You're not going to see most of it, but what you will, it'll actually poke out here and there. There'll be some of it up here in the front and all. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to paint this all up. I started with a gray so that I could keep it that way, but I've decided to try this MIG concrete for dioramas. Now, the cool thing is I opened it up and just took out the top, and I'm not sure if you guys can see that, but those little speckles and things like that that you see in there, those are not air holes. That's actually texture in there. So we're going to see how this works on the HO scale, mostly because, it's mostly kind of a paste. It's not so much a paint. But, oh, wow. Okay, so that goes on very, very gritty. So this is a pretty heavy concrete mix that you're putting on here. So this may not work the way that I wanted it to, but at the same time, I'll just see how it goes. Wow, that's really, really thick. But the cool thing is I'm able to kind of wipe some of the thickness away. Now, if you guys have seen the building, you know that this is where the stairs sit, and it actually sits on a concrete pedestal sort of thing. You know, a concrete pad, just like most steps do. So this might really work well as a road, because it does have a lot of the texture in there. I've got to do this side too. This is the main portion that will actually be seen as concrete. The nice thing is it's going on with a nice color. Now, along the front, there is going to be a lot of concrete too, because there is a small portion of the concrete that shows through. So this is actually giving it some texture. I'll go through and show it to you in a second here. Because this is the parking lot side, so you're actually going to see some of this. And it's actually the way it's set up. So I have to take kind of a shot across the bow. But at the same time, I'm looking more for the concrete color effect than I am the concrete effect. But this might just prove to be kind of cool to see. That's why I kind of wanted to use it. So you can see, let's see if you can see that there. So you can see there how it actually does have a bit of a texture to it. A lot less color, much more texture to it. So this would really make a great road. That kind of is bad that I'm not going to be able to use a road on this one because it's all stone, what I'm doing. So, but doesn't mean I can't try it out. Now, like I said, a lot of this is going to be covered up, which is why the 1/16 isn't too bad. I will go in and put spackling, but the way that I closed off the edges is with spackle. I needed to close off the edges because, you know, when you cut foam board, you see all that foam stuff, and none of that is straight, and it's not very good as an overall edge. So I decided to go through and spackle it with a little spackling all the way across. This will then work as the foundation for the building. This will be glued down once I get this paint on there. Wow, this could really, I may have to try this on my actual layout on a road section. Let's see how it comes out. I like the color of it too. The color's a much better gray than we've seen in a lot of the concretes that we get. But this is really, really kind of nice. Okay, I don't know if you guys can see that, but that's what the concrete looks like. Pretty much all the way around. So I'm going to go ahead and finish this off and go all the way around with it. Okay, here is my timestamp. You can see that Heath is on. Gonna mute him for a bit. So I have cut out my base of operations that I'm going to use for this. Now this will actually go into a layout, but I don't have that layout, and there's a whole bunch of other stuff that's supposed to go over here and a whole bunch of tracks that I don't have the plan for yet and all. So I'm just going to make this as a diorama, and it will stick in to where it needs to go. So it's on the pink foam, it's sitting there, and I did a little extra for this guy, since I don't know exactly what I'm doing yet on how it's going to go. But we have some magnets that make sure I put it right in place, which is kind of nice. So, but it doesn't need to be in place while I'm doing all of this interior stuff. And I think I put that in the wrong area. It's okay, I can cut that out and put it on the other side. I should have put it over there for the wires to go through. But you can see last night I finished painting the concrete that goes all the way around the building and up on the front section underneath the stairs. So my next thing to do is to start putting some what am I using? I'm using the spackling. Now the thing is I need to bring this up because this is way too high, obviously, as a curb for anything. But it also gives me that ability to put in all of the rocks and dirt and things like that that need to go in without having to keep raising this or putting it on something. So that's why this has got a foundation. So the foundation is mounted onto the board. But the building itself I can take on and off, so we will build up all of the stuff around here to make it into a working file. Okay, so that's my update right now. All right, a little bit more update video. Just let you guys know, I've gone ahead and put down some plaster. We're gonna go ahead and do a little bit more of that in a minute. But first, we're going to do something that I've never done before to see what we can do. I have Glad Press and Seal. Now, part of what has to happen is when this building is sitting where it's supposed to, like this, okay? This area right here is actually a roll-up deck. So we've got to sculpt to mold this down, okay? And at the same time, this is really all covered. And then the ground kind of goes down here to meet up to this section. And it's a little bumpy over here. And then it kind of, you know, slowly goes down. So I tried to figure out a couple of different ways I could do that. I could do it with plastic. I could do it with the foam core board. But of course over in here, they had a whole bunch of work done. So none of this big blob over here is actually level, which is why, if you notice when you go down over here, I didn't level this out and make it nice and smooth because I don't want it to be. And that's kind of what I want to do over here. This needs to be smooth. This area actually is going to have a very flat area in it. But the rest of this is kind of really bumpy and out of the way. So what I want to do is I want to be able to make this building removable. So in order to do that, it has to come right up to here to make it look right. And I can put some grass or hide some stuff in there, some way to kind of delineate that a little bit. But I still got to get it in there. All right, so what I'm going to try to do is use this press and seal, which doesn't seal on itself very well, but is supposed to seal to other items real well. So we're going to see how that works. And if it doesn't work, my second option is to go get aluminum foil. Now I can put this back in place, do the sculpt-a-mold, and then once the sculpt-a-mold is dried and all, pull this away. All right, so I already have it for now. I think we're going to try to leave this, and we may have to come back. Now I may have to come back and put another coat of like spackling over the top of this, but that would just be a really thin coat to make sure that I got it leveled out. And there's a few spots over here that I've got to put some more spackle on to make it all work. So we're going to let that dry. We'll come back and we'll see what the results are. Okay, everybody. I actually let this set up for 2 days. Make sure it was nice and hard. It's good and cold. Cold means that it doesn't have any more reactions going on. Let's see if we can take the building away. So of course I've got this down with magnets. You can hear some cracking. I can actually do this 2 ways. Let's peel the saran wrap down a little. Okay, because this is a building, I don't want to break it. Okay, look at that. It came out. That was me down there. It's okay, that comes back on. Okay, so here's the building. No damage, you can see. It's all intact. It's not painted bad or anything like that. Okay, so let's go over here. Let's move in a little closer. All right, so now we've got the saran wrap that was there, and we just simply pull it away. Now, give you guys a little bit of a tour. And see here, it worked right up next to it. Okay. Now there are some little areas that are, little areas here that are sticking up. A couple places here and there. But overall, that came out really good. Okay, gonna start with my little update. I'm gonna finish this off with the other one. So I have done my saran wrap experiment, which you guys can see. And then I've come back and done some pink spackling on some of the areas. This is the ramp, and then there's a flat area there, and there's just some little touch-ups. So now I just have to wait for the pink to dry, and then I will go ahead and start the next process, which will be painting this. So that's my update for this week. There'll probably be some more because I'm going to do some painting and hopefully start getting some other things ready to go here for the rest of this module. But that's what I've got going for right now. Building's hanging out over there. So that's my Jac Jac update. Thanks for watching, everybody. This is Steve87 saying thank you for watching, and we'll talk to you again.